Alrighty, today I'll be working on my SC400 and I will be replacing the alternator with a new one. Yeah, and then I'm also gonna do the big 3-wire upgrade for the car because eventually I'm gonna put a very nice stereo system to it. So yeah, I'm gonna show you step by step and let's get started. Alright, the first thing we gotta do is remove the serpentine belt. And in order for us to do that, we will need a 14mm socket, and we need to go to the serpentine belt tensioner. And we're gonna go here, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna go counterclockwise so that if you can see it there, you'll be able to loosen the belt with it. If you keep on going counterclockwise and then take off the belt, all right? Alrighty, so the next step you gotta do is jack up the car so that you can go underneath and remove the screws. There's gonna be 3 of them that you gotta remove. So the first one, it's very hard to find it, but it's in between those 2 gears, this one and then this. It'll be in between these 2, where my hand is, okay? And what it is that it is going to be a 14mm nut right here, okay? That's the first one, okay? The other ones, okay, go underneath. Oh. So you gotta remove 2 things, okay? First one is the bracket, okay? This one, I'd recommend you remove this first, okay? And then the next one would be this right here, this screw right here, where my hand is. See that? The alternator? Here, go there. Close up right there. That guy. Okay? So what would happen is that, I'll show you. Okay, I removed it. So it looks like this. It's a 10mm. Okay? Okay, you'll need a 10. And what it is, it'll look like that. See that? Comes off. Okay? And then the next screw is this guy right here, okay? That is easily taken off. It's a long one. So you just take that off, okay? And bang, okay? So don't worry about it. The up top screw, if you removed it, what I showed you earlier before, this is just gonna be hanging. So it's best now to go with the next step is that there'll be wires up top here, of course, where I can't see it right there. Alrighty, so on the back of the alternator, like for real up top here, there'll be 2 wires here, okay? There'll be this one, which is the positive, okay? That one right there, the positive, and then this guy right here that connects to the alternator, okay? It'll be in the back of it. You gotta remove those in order for it to fully remove. So what you need to do is that if you see it here, let's do a better. How about this way? Okay, so for this, so it has a grommet, so you got to be careful with this, all right? So just pull it out, and then you see this guy right here, right? You got to push and pull out of the alternator, okay? See it? I'm gonna show you close. See that guy? You're gonna feel it, and then when you did, you just have to press it and then pull out of the alternator, and it'll come right off. Usually with this grommet, all right? But be very careful. If you haven't replaced it before, these things are fragile, okay? Mine cracked and I had to get a replacement, see? A new one. But thing is, I'm gonna do aftermarket and I'm gonna cut this off. But yeah, all right, on to the next thing. Alrighty, so once you have all 3 screws removed, all it is, and the wires behind this, okay? All it is just a little finicky, and then move it out, okay? It's super simple. And then this area right here, okay? This is where you're gonna take it out. So be careful, so just move out all the wires, okay? All right, and then what you're gonna do is just pull it out until it's there, right? It's loosened, and then careful, this is heavy. I know I'm doing it with one hand, but nice and gentle. And then in the areas here, there's like the piping, just move it out a little bit and it'll come off, okay? So do it like that, and then just move this piping aside, and then bam, it's off. But what I'm talking to you about earlier, I'm gonna show it to you. That 14 mil nut, which is, shoot, can't even see it. But this guy right here, this guy is right here. You see it? Here, I'll move it. Okay, it'll be right here. Let me put it up here, and then let me show it to you closer. But it's that guy right there, okay? That's in between those two, okay? What I was talking to you earlier about. But yeah, between these two guys, okay, this and this, will be in the middle of it. This guy, all right? So yeah, so you guys won't have a hard time like, what is happening? But it's essentially 3 to remove it, okay? 3 screws, this, and then the one here, and then the bracket holding the pipe, okay? Alrighty. Alrighty, on this step would be to redo the wires for the OEM, to do a aftermarket one for an alternator if you guys have an aftermarket one and it has a different plug, okay? So if you guys have the original one and you're just gonna plug it back in, you guys can skip this step, all right? Okay. So for this here, the wires, there's 3 of them. There's gonna be what I'm holding, this one right here, that would be green and yellow, okay? There's gonna be a white and then a black. So total 3 wires for a 93 SC400, okay? So the white one here represents sensing, okay? The green and yellow, that would be ignition, and then black would be engine, okay? Again, the white is sensing, the yellow and green is ignition, and then the last one, which is the black, is engine. All right, guys? So, yep, you just follow through the steps, connect it to the wire harness from this, and you're golden, all right? On to the next one. Alrighty, the next thing I did was do the wire upgrade. So the positive, and then the negative, and then also from the engine to the chassis. So this one right here, I followed it from here all the way down to next to the oil filter. Here, I'll go underneath here. Okay, if you follow the negative in the battery, it goes all the way down here to the oil filter, okay? And then do you see that nut right there? That's where it's located. So I just put it here where it was, okay? So yeah. Alrighty. So from the battery, the positive, right? All the way to the alternator, I just did a line following here, here, and then all the way to the alternator, okay? To the back of it, okay? And then the one I did for the engine to the chassis, I put it on the alternator, which is connected there, okay? And then I followed the line, and then it'll be all the way up here because I couldn't find anywhere else. And I just stripped the paint and then bare metal, and then I put it there. I need a tool to shorten these because I had to do like a whole bunch of zip ties as you see here. But yeah, that's what I did. Alrighty. So once you put back the alternator, right, you plug back the wires that were in the back of it. The 2 screws that attached to the alternator that we took off earlier before, those would be tightened to 27 pound-feet of torque, okay? And then the last screw, which is that guy right there that holds the 2 wires, the bracket, okay? That should just be hand tight. I couldn't find the specific, but it should be like 13 or something like that, but just hand tighten it, it'll be fine. But yeah, after that, you just put back the belt, and then I'll plaster the diagram for the belt on this video. So yeah, let's see if she starts. Alrighty, let's see if she lives. She has a little bit of an idle issue, but I know what it is. But now, look at that. All right, let's go test out. Well, you can see she's pretty low on idle. But give me a second here. Let's go test her out. Alrighty, let's see if the new alternator charges. We'll put that there. You see current? Yes, sir, it's charging. Yes, sir. Nice. So, yep, she lives. I'll let her warm up. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope this helps somebody replace their alternator for the SC400. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you guys find this helpful, just like, comment, and subscribe. Alright guys, thank you so much. See you later.